Welcome back to Pints with Pals. I'm your host, Jason, and I'm joined today, as always, with Jeremy and Mike. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
All right, so today we have a kind of a follow-up to our one of our episodes from last year, our last season. We have Dead and Dead by Rogue, which is we did Dead Guy Ale, right?
Mhm.
By Rogue. And we discovered they had a whole bunch of, not a whole bunch, we have a couple of different variants. And this is one of them where they barrel age it. Well, that's a question for later, if it is actually barrel aged, but let's see what we got here. It's a very cool looking can. I do like the, we've got a lot of glare going on,
Shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
Mine foamed up a lot.
Right.
I think this might be another one that was from like 2021 or something.
It says canned in 2022.
Shit.
July 2022. Is it that bad?
Yeah, it's all over. No, that's fine. We'll just keep going. Let's keep talking. I'm gonna grab me a
all right.
or something.
Well, I'm gonna let mine breathe.
He let his breathe.
I breathe. We're gonna technical difficulties. Got to get paper towel.
I wish I had that like boo noise. Fortunately I had a bowl to like put it in. But that thing, smart. I didn't have a bowl. I had a bowl like with pretzels, but it's definitely like all foam.
Mine was fine.
Maybe it's the. I don't know what it would have been. I can't even tell which side's the poor side.
It was canned 2 years ago. Now this one I know I bought this one in Michigan, so it was not from the place. It was from the place here. I take that back.
Wow,
it wasn't from Michigan. Well, while we wait for Jeremy, I mean, it's definitely got fizz, so I don't think it's bad.
Well, no, that's the problem. Is usually when it has too much fizz, it's gone off. But really? The fizz isn't. So it's, but at least from my experience with the the beers that I've had kind of skunk on me, the fizz is like a different consistency. The fizz is like it's like a soda fizz versus like a foamy beer fizz.
Well, I think what we've determined is I'm not allowed to pick beers anymore.
Yeah, no, just not get them from that guy. Like, just ignore that place.
Yeah, like it sucks.
Yeah. I don't know where
it doesn't smell off.
Yeah, that's I don't know where the glare is coming from, but it's a very caramel. Like this is caramel
like mahogany,
thick.
Yeah,
it smells good.
Mahogany color smells.
I'm excited. I'm gonna let it hang for a second though. As I said, I had mine in the freezer. Then Jeremy's like, "Well, it's barrel aged. You should have it out." And I'm like, "I like cold beer." I don't know.
No, it's not a lot.
I also like how it changes the flavor because as it warms up and gets to room temperature, it will. Man, I said I was afraid I was gonna spill it, and I actually didn't. Both of you guys had them explode.
Cracked it open, it was just a geyser, and I'm glad I have a plastic mat underneath of me.
Right, I have mine in like. I had a bowl from pretzels from earlier today, and I'm like, oh, God.
Well.
Yeah, definitely get.
Yeah.
Kind of like a caramel toffee, maybe.
Oh, yeah, it's...
very malty smelling.
It tastes very malty, too. I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit more bitter.
Me too.
It ends with a little bit of bitter.
I get a little salt in mine.
Is that from the floor? Did you get the stuff off the floor? You're just like, I'm going to wring it into the... Gotta get some more out of my glass. Initial impressions.
You know what it's reminding me... Well, initial impressions, I like it. I'll say halfway. As I always do. I can't really judge it. I would... as I'm drinking it, the first sip, it just instantly reminds me of Better Half.
I was going to say Curmudgeon's Better Half.
Yeah.
Me too.
Does it remind me of Arrogant Bastard?
I have not had that one.
Yeah,
it does remind me of Founders.
Yeah.
But Arrogant Bastard isn't Founders. Arrogant Bastard's its own brand. I keep seeing it all the time because I'm like, it catches my eye.
It has that, but it definitely has. No, I mean it's definitely more strong of a flavor, but it has a lot of characteristics of Arrogant Bastard to me. I don't get Curmudgeon's Better Half myself.
It's just
maybe it was a little sweeter, maybe.
Yeah, Curmudgeon's or Better Half is super sweet. So this is that initial taste is like Curmudgeon's, but then it stops because it's not sweet. On the back end, it's I get a ton of vanilla, and that's what the can shows, like this little star pattern of what you're gonna taste, and they're very high on vanilla, but that I'm liking it so far. Maybe I'm moving upwards a little bit.
My initial impression is the tartness is coming back, but it's not tartness. The bite, like the IPA bite, is kind of at the end for me. So like right now, I'm going to give it a sideways thumb as well, just because I liked my first impression. The smell is good. The first taste is good, but the like aftertaste after that is kind of like it's not off-putting, so it's not like I would never drink it again, but it's just a little bit funky. I don't know if it wouldn't be my like star go-to beer, at least not this temperature.
Maybe for the second half. Sorry.
Wow. We're fine.
Let's say for the second half of the season, I'll get newer versions of all the beers that I had for the first half, and we'll see.
Well, I just had to get a cabinet or something to sit on.
Right. Sounds great.
Just catch up real quick, real fast. So I've had a lot of what Mike likes to drink in barrel-aged beers, and this is definitely not in his wheelhouse. It's not sweet. It doesn't have the caramel flavors. There's no woody flavor to it like Mike enjoys. There's just a lot of things that are just missing. So I can see why this is a turn off for Mike. So the Sterling hops are going to give a little bit of a spicy herbal kind of flavor. That's probably what Mike's trying to describe earlier that he doesn't care for. I don't mind it so much. I assume if they didn't have Sterling hops in there, because like I said, it's a pretty strong hop, so it would be even more malty, more sweet forward. So probably trying to combat that, I guess. But again, I wish I would have said which. Well, I guess they do say it. I guess they use Big Guy whiskey, which I've not had.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. Is as we were trying to research this beer, I was finding a lot of people who didn't seem to like the Dead Guy whiskey.
No.
Not that I don't think we'd ever find it here on the east side.
I don't know that we would or not. I looked it up too, just because I was wondering about it. Because like whiskey is like the basic term. Like so, Scotch is whiskey, bourbon is whiskey, brandy I think might be even whiskey. I'm not even 100% sure on that. But they're like, I tried to get some information, and their website has like 4 things. It doesn't even say like what ABV it's at. It just says like it gives you the ingredients, which is like 2 row Munich, and then C15 malts, distiller's yeast, and free range coastal water. This is for the whiskey. I'm like, what in the hell?
I was confused. I was like,
is free range coastal water?
Well, it's just like
they just went to the ocean.
Coors Light.
Sploosh. Yeah, that's what the salt that you're getting out of it.
Free range. It's I don't know.
I was gonna say they get like a bunch of aqua guys together and on seahorses, and they wrestle them up real quick.
So Jeremy, what did you give your opinion on it?
I did not. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know. I'm like I think I'm polar opposite of all of it. I'm like, I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I don't like it. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it, because there's a lot going on. It's still really, really, really cold. So
okay,
maybe the next 10-15 minutes.
It does remind me of, and it has been a while since we had Dead Guy Ale. It does remind me of it, as from what I can remember.
Did we like Dead Guy Ale? I don't feel like I remember it.
No. I've had it before. I liked it. What episode that was?
I feel like I didn't like it, but I don't remember.
It wasn't this
first season. Yeah, it's first season.
No, it's first season.
Yeah.
And I remember when I went to go buy that because I was looking for
I remember that
the
too.
little skull guy. I ended up
yeah.
accidentally buying the green cans, which is the Dead Guy IPA.
IPAs. Yeah.
I think we have that as
Which
well.
we do have that as well. I don't know how. I mean,
We're here to get to that one soon.
that one is
This-
okay. That one is definitely from Michigan. That one's from. Yeah, that one. Yeah, there you go.
Want to chat? You can text this person.
Yeah. What's the
Oops.
date on it? What's the can date?
1/5/23.
So that one's.
You actually got one from this year.
1/5/23.
It's barely this year, but it was from this year.
Man, it just reminds me so much of Better Half. You could put them side by
It's got-
side, and I bet, yeah, I couldn't.
Better Half's
Better Half is
nose.
sweet. Yeah.
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 It's got the nose and the front taste of Better Half,
Wow.
especially old, aged Better Half.
So, I guess you guys want to talk about weekends, or do you want to talk about this beer some more? Because there is the whole barrel aged chips debate. or
Well, I
the
was going to bring
barrel
up. 'Cause I
chips.
don't think we talked about what the ABV was or anything like that, have we? I don't
I
recall.
couldn't find that.
So
the
yeah,
ABV. Okay.
yeah. So it's 9.5. So it's a little heavier of a beer
Yep.
than we normally have, and then like 40 IBU, and the 26 SRM is just like the color. So like it's gonna be
Yeah.
like it's more red mahogany kind of a color to it. That's all that really means. But it's like really fun. They don't have a whole lot on their site. Like everything that you see in the notes I put up there, like that was everything.
And this is Belgium.
Um,
New Belgium is this its own
No, it's
company?
Rogue. Rogue.
Damn it!
I think they're in.
Get these
they're
two
in,
confused.
they're in Oregon, I think, or at least they're on the West Coast.
Yep, I get these two confused when I see them in the. I don't know why. I think it's just because of the like skull-y guy that's on the
Oh yeah,
New Belgium or the other ones.
the fighter pilot on the
Oh, the
Yeah.
Juice Force stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, Juice Force.
IPAs. Yeah. Usually when I think in New Belgium, I really like their triple and their blood orange honey triple. They're like $11 a 6-pack. Is like one of the best triples you can get for sub $12. Oh yeah, I guess we
So-
talk about the weekends. Right?
Sure. Jeremy, how was your weekend? Or what have you been up to? Maybe not your
that's the whole
weekend.
thing. I was
but-
trying to remember where I left off at. I guess what I was gonna say was like I went on a cruise. I guess that was the one thing I had to bring up.
You did not
So-
bring that.
No, I did not. So it's the first time I've ever been on one. It was fun. I'd do it again. The wife's already looked at a bunch of different destinations to potentially try out in the near future. The first 24 hours were crappy, to say the best. Like we drove through a storm. So the ship was rocking side to side, then it was up and down, and then there was times where it felt like we hit the waves a certain way, like we just kind of skipped over top of them, kind of like the rubble strip on the highway. That's about what it felt like, which was so weird. That was about 24 hours straight. The wife and I, we did fine, but we were in a group of 14 people, and over half of them got sick. They didn't bring anything either, so we brought stuff. So we're giving out our stuff to them to help them out a little bit, so they can get something in the morning, because shops only stay open for a couple few hours on the ship anyways, and then it goes down. So there was that. I guess one thing that was kind of disappointing is like I kept doing all this research and I was like, oh, the food is so good, it's so good, it's so good. Like the food's mediocre at best. What's nice is there is a lot of variety, and I think that's probably what they meant to say, not how good the quality was. Because I did the what's it called, the upcharge. So I got like a surf and turf. The steak was good. The lobster was a rubber mallet. It was just disgusting. It was not good at all. It was so overcooked. But the shows were fun. We showed up to a couple of karaoke's. But I want to say congratulations to my oldest son Brandon and his now future wife Shadiah. They got engaged. So yeah, that happened. That was pretty exciting. What else? Oh, so we went to the Bahamas. I looked up the Bahamas and see what kind of local beers they had, and I think they have 3 that they manufacture there. One is Sands, and the other 2 I couldn't remember. So I found Sands, and for a $3 beer, it was a very good, delicious beer. if I would have got that in the States, it probably would have cost me $6 to $8. I would rather drink warm Heineken on a hot summer day. It was not good. But I drank it. I was a champ. I drank the whole bottle. Then I saw they made Radlers, and their Radlers are phenomenal. So I'm not seeing any where I live. So just keep an eye out for Sans Radlers. They're really, really good.
Is that like not a rattler? Sorry, Sans.
No, yeah.
Like the Spanish for like not or without.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Though. It was a good time. Yep.
How about you, Mike?
Nope, you're fine.
I didn't do anything this weekend. My wife went to Grand Rapids with her friend, and they went to Perrin and what?
They left you home alone?
Yeah. Yeah, they were going for like Christmas markets and stuff, and I was just like, I think it'd be more fun for you guys to go on your own. And because I stayed home and actually cleaned out the garage and got the garage back in order, I finally could park my car back in it. I just was like, it was bothering me. Plus, like, it started snowing, and I had to like go somewhere, and like my car is covered in snow, and I didn't think about that and didn't add that to my like time to get there. I was like, oh, shoot, I'm just gonna take your car. Bye. But yeah. We had, she bought a beer. She got a couple of beers from Perrin. Decadence, remember that we did Decadence last season? They have a double barrel Decadence from Perrin. Well, you may not have done it. I don't remember where it was in the list, but it was pretty delicious. I didn't try that one yet. I like Decadence in general. And then they had she went to another brewery that had like a barrel-aged Vivant. Is Vivant a brewery out there?
Oh yeah, I love Vivant.
They had a barrel-aged quad.
Make a lot of...
I was really excited to try that, and it was friggin' delicious. I really liked it.
Wizard Burial Underground? Yeah. Tates hates that.
Anyway, I don't think he likes...
They have a... Wait, was it Wizard? Because wait, it's
something with a W, yeah.
It's a barrel-aged Scotch ale, isn't it?
No, I don't think it's Scotch ale. That was a quadruple. Barrel-aged quadruple.
I'm looking it up now. Yeah, okay, it's a quad. Well, I know they had the one time I went there, which was years ago, they had a Scotch ale, and that was delicious.
I like Scotch ales.
But their food, they do like crazy, like delicious look. Like look at their like Instagram, their food looks amazing, and their desserts and you go inside of it's a church. It's really good. It's cool. And they have the Monks Club, that's what they call it. Instead of the Mugs Club, it's the Monks Club.
Yeah, they didn't go there specifically. They went to a place that served their beer, and they bought cans of it, which is weird. They didn't have it on tap, but they bought a can of it. So I got to try that, and I had the 2023 Bourbon County from Goose Island, and that was delicious. So it's good to see that they're carrying on with their traditions. And it's one of the cheaper ones that I have. The 16-ounce can is like $12 to $15, depending on where you find it, or like $13 to $15. You could see them up to like $30. But
yeah, they're expensive here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, just at a store in Ohio, they were like basically list price $12 or something, $12.99. $13.99?
16 for mine last year.
That's not a bad price. I think it's worth it.
It's a hard time to find it. I had to go like 2 hours away to find it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, again, the Tennessee law, like they can't sell anything higher than 10.1 ABV.
Yeah, so you have to go 2.5 hours away just to get anything.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, to another state. Ironically, I went to another state also to get it, but not because Michigan has that kind of law. Michigan just has no distribution, so that part sucks.
Weekend.
What was your weekend like?
Yeah. So Jerry mentioned warm Heineken. We went out for my girlfriend's mother's and sister-in-law's birthday, and Pittsburgh has this weird, I guess, Pennsylvania law. You can bring your own beer. So I brought. Her mom likes. Well, I've seen her drink Heineken before, so I grabbed a 6-pack of Heineken. And of course, she doesn't drink any, so I end up being the only one drinking Heineken. But it's interesting. They allow you to you bring your own beer, but they have to. The waiter has to open it, and they charge you a corking fee. I don't know if they have to, but they did.
They have to charge you, or they have to cork it.
Both. I don't know what the rule is. I've never looked it up.
Is it like per container that they open?
So for wine, it's per glass per bottle. Sorry, they charge $6 per bottle to uncork it, and for beer, it's just I'm guessing seltzers, $3 per person.
Oh.
So
I
don't even know if he. I'm not sure they charge us for it anyway, because we bought a whole bunch of food and we were there for a while, so I never looked at the bill, but. Anyway, so I had some Heinekens this weekend, and then I went out again in Pittsburgh, found a bar that the Michigan alumni goes to. So I walked in there and everyone was a Michigan fan. I'm like, it's just like home. I love it. And they had a whole bunch of Bell's beers. They had the Oberon Eclipse, which I thought was pretty cool.
What's Oberon Eclipse? Is it a dark? I'm assuming
it's a fall version of the beer of Oberon.
Oberon, yeah.
It's good.
Like a stout?
It tastes. No. It's still I think it's still a Belgian. It has like similar flavors to Oberon. It's different, but it's good.
Yeah.
But I just had a bunch of Bells, and that was just one I thought was unique they had. But I just was drinking the Land of Lakes or whatever it's called.
That's all that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Forgot I sent it to the group. Yeah. So that was my weekend.
Yeah. When I was in college, they had like those kind of parties where they were like BYO parties, and then you would have to like, I don't remember how it worked exactly, but you would like give them like, they gave you a bunch of tickets and they were of your beer, so they would have them in like a cooler behind the thing, and then it was a really weird, like, I don't know if it got around some sort of like minor drinking things because you couldn't get your own stuff, and then they weren't technically serving
like
you.
a blind tiger.
Yeah, I don't really understand it, but it was easier, I think, for them to like host a party like that versus like buying everything and then charging people admission. Still think they charged you though, so I don't really know. So, I want to debate this a little bit in the.
Go for it.
I had a hard time trying to label this episode because it says barrel aged on the website, but then on the can it says I don't remember where I did it. It says basically
the very bottom. It says
vanilla fruit notes from the oak dead guy whiskey barrel chips, and it says coconut. Nope, that's like what it goes with. Like coconut shrimp ribeye and chocolates. Oh, that's not it. But so
was at his best.
It looks like they're barrel aging it on the chips, and I feel like that. Whereas I still think it's kind of the same thing. It's importing some of the similar flavors, but depending on how they do it, it could not be the same as like aging it in an actual oak barrel and getting more of the flavor of the whiskey or the bourbon or whatever the actual like rum, whatever the barrel was holding, wine, I guess. You do port barrel aged things. Mm-hmm. Versus like more of like a raw oak flavor, not a char, depending on how they char it and stuff like that too. So I don't, and I know Jeremy's coming from a home brewing standpoint where there's no way in hell you'll ever make, what is it, like 64 gallons? How many gallons is a
That's
keg?
a lot. I don't remember now. But
It's an enormous amount. Like you'll never ever do that kind of thing. They sell smaller ones, but still, like that's almost impossible. But then the more I was starting reading into it, depending on how you treat the wood chips to begin with, you could potentially impart more flavor, and you could dial in your flavor a little bit more carefully. So I just don't know. And if that part, I would call it barrel aging opposed to just straight up aging or letting it soak on wood chips. I don't know. So,
well, you just play devil's advocate with yourself, so we don't need a debate. Good job. you covered everything else. I was gonna like retort too. So like, I'll just sit here and just twiddle my thumbs.
I talk myself in and out of a lot of stuff all the time.
The only thing I can say, according to the BJCP, which is the Home Brewers Beer Judge Certification stuff, is that they classify aged beers. It can be in a cask, it can be in a barrel, it can be wood chips, it can be wood spirals, it could be wood staves. So it's basically anything that you put your wood into a beer, it's considered barrel aged, I guess, according to that. So
they consider it barrel aged if
yeah.
it's been aged on at all, like even if it's not aged with like wood chips.
No. Like I said, I mean that's you use a cask, a barrel.
Oh, okay.
Wood chips, stave, spirals, and whatever else.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So they consider that barrel because you're using bits of the barrel. So like apparently that's what they're using is and they probably get way more out of it than like because you probably don't have to age. So if you did the same amount of liquid, you probably wouldn't have to age it in, or age it with the entire barrel's worth of wood chips, right? You could probably just age it with like a fifth or a quarter of it, or even less potentially, because there's so much more surface area when you shred them like that.
I forgot how much a buddy of mine told me a barrel cost them, like $400 or $500 just for the barrel. That wasn't even the beer they had to brew to go inside of it.
Right, and then it's a huge risk. Huge risk.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you don't sanitize it right. I mean, you're SOL. But I mean, I guess it makes sense for Dead Guy to do this, right? Because they make their own liquor and they make beer.
Yep.
And if they use wood casks, like what else are we going to do with it? Well, let's just throw beer in and see what happens. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. I mean, it's like really not that big of a deal because they're still making stuff regardless. Now I wonder if they're actually getting fresh barrels and get them charged for themselves, or they're getting seconds.
Yeah.
Like
getting for like Jim Beam or whatever, Jack Daniels.
Yeah, it's hard to say their whiskey thing has absolutely no information on it. Other than like they won like 10 awards from 2022 to 2018.
Right. Because what is that one whiskey brand out there that does that? They use like seconds. And they make some pretty good whiskey.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank now. I'm not a huge whiskey connoisseur.
I think
I like, but
because when I was in Europe, they were saying that the American whiskey and bourbon and rum and all that, they have such a strict policy on how many times you can use a barrel that our barrels, like that they're buying our barrels up to do like wine and stuff because our barrels are in like perfect condition. They're just like over the recommended uses that we consider okay here. I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat.
That's pretty cool though overall. I mean, I'm glad they get like a second life. Jeez,
Jason, did you have like something on your mind?
I'm confused. I'm trying to. Okay, so they're sorry. This is the Dead Guy whiskey, previously called Rolling Thunder Stouted Whiskey. Dead Guy Stout Cask Whiskey is a 3-year-old American-style malt whiskey, aged 1 year in 100% coopered in-house barrels.
So make their own barrels.
Yeah, and 2 years in a stout saturated American oak barrels.
Stout saturated.
So it must be a barrel-aged beer potentially.
Unless they make us, just take a barrel. God.
Yeah. So that's just, so that's one of them. They have a whole bunch of different whiskeys. They have a stout cask finished. They have wine cask. Then they just have the regular whiskey.
So Jameson has an IPA, and I wonder if that's what they do. I wonder if they make an IPA or have somebody make it. They just let it saturate the barrel, dump out the beer, and then throw their whiskey in, and impart flavors that way. That'd be kind of interesting. Huh.
Seems like a waste of beer.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing because you can't buy Jameson beer. I can't. I've seen their cocktails in a can. Well, I've not seen anything else. But we're here for beer, not whiskey. So
Maybe it could be.
yeah, we
It
could
isn't.
be.
I don't actually see Dead and Dead on their website right now, so I wonder if they don't actually brew this anymore, or
Well, I think that's where I found it at. Thought it did.
at least it's not listed on. Yeah, I don't see it listed on their page.
7-11-22.
Oh, seasonal. It's probably under seasonal.
Probably.
Yep.
Look at it. Look at around July.
It is
Or
a seasonal.
probably now.
Yeah.
Actually, surprised it's not out right now.
But I mean, I don't know. Mine's fairly warm now. Mealy glass is kind of cool to the touch. I think it's about where I like my barrel aged beers. I think it's getting a little more sweeter to it. I think
So
the hop flavors calm down, so it's not as pungent.
I guess Jeremy, do you have a recipe? I mean, you have done a barrel aged for Mike before, and did you use chips? I don't remember.
I did quasi. I cheated. I would be out.
Oh,
like,
right, that's right. Yep.
if I would have turned this into the BJCP and I told them how I made it, I probably would have disqualified it, but I said I wouldn't tell them. I'd be like, here it is. You just judge it and let me know. I would probably do the same recipe for the most part. I would probably do like a coconut stout for sure, and then I would just use like whatever oak chips I can come across and just to try that. One thing that I've read and talked to some homebrewers about, like you freeze them, thaw them, freeze them, and thaw them. And so basically, what happens there, just like with fruit, is whatever sugars are inside the wood or that's in the cellulose, I think, will kind of break down and will extract, so you can actually impart more of those caramel notes. Yeah, that's caramel and vanilla notes that you get from oak and stuff like that into the beer itself. So I would definitely do that process for a couple weeks, like a few days in, a few days out, just kind of rotate it. I don't know if I would rechar. So I'd be afraid how much smoke flavor would get imparted. So I would probably just experiment with whatever I got first, and then next round I would try and rechar a little bit more of it and kind of go that route. That'd be fun little experiment. But again, it's time. I don't have.
Yeah, right. And if it's not something you prefer or like,
Yeah, we need to do that again. I'm gonna have to get another one of those. Your
coconut ones?
Yeah, your
make
coconut
Jeremy
ones.
Make you a beer.
No. I don't want. I have some still. It's been about 6 months since the last one.
Throw them
away.
Yeah, throw them away. The coconut ones, yeah, throw them away.
Did they go bad?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're bad. Because the coconut's still, yes, because the coconuts is still in there, and they're they're pretty gross. I tried one; it was just disgusting. I was like, I threw them all away. I had like 4 or 5 left.
Ugh.
Yeah, sorry.
Speaking of bad beers, Adam, who listens, I have a whole bunch.
Listening.
I have a whole bunch of beer in my fridge, and they come over to my house, even though I'm not there, and they, we run a board game, and I, remote in kind of like this. So I had a beer in there, and he's like, "Hey, can I have a beer?" I'm like, "Sure." I don't know what's in there. Just don't take anything that looks expensive. So he I forget the name of it now. It was one of the ones from Holmes, but it's been in there a minute, and it's a fruited sour. So he poured it, and he goes, "Yeah, this doesn't look good." And I'm like, "I mean, I don't know. You have to look at the date on the can." And then he drinks, and he's like, "Yeah, this is." He said it was sandy, so I think it was starting to it was solidifying, and so now I gotta
coagulated.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're just not going to drink any of my beers anymore. No, all of them are bad.
It's all good intentions.
Do we want to revise?
The issue.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was gonna say that's the issue with buying a bunch of beer that you like, and then you have too much beer that you like. So that's what Angela and I were gonna say. We're basically going to, like, if we have like our barrel aged parties in like the wintertime, we're gonna like open up like, okay, here's like some of the good beers that we had, but like I don't want to save anything past 5 years, and even 5 years is pushing it for anything sweet. Anything sweet, I would say you need to get it in, definitely drank before the 4th year or 5th year.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Well,
so we're rating this again.
Yeah, I say we rate it. I'm gonna still say sideways.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if I would go out and buy it.
Let's compare it against the rest of our lineup. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. Like, I would take this over the Massacre for sure.
Really? Okay.
Well, that volcano sour for sure.
Yeah. I would take it over that for sure.
How's rough?
Yeah. I mean, to me,
I'd try it again if it was more fresh, just to have a better comparison.
Fresh?
But, yeah.
Well, like on draft, yeah, sure. A little, 4-ounce pour of it. Or you mean this? Do you mean this?
Which one were you going to try again?
Yeah, which one try again?
The volcano one.
Okay, yeah. This it's good. I mean, I'd say halfway. I bet if I drank it more and more, I'd get more drunk. But I think I would.
Yes.
I'd probably learn to like it because I didn't like Curmudgeon's Better Half, and because it was just too sweet. And it's like I said, this reminds me a lot of that. So I'm sure I'd learn to like it. So I'm gonna still say halfway, but I'd probably buy it again.
Yeah, I would definitely buy it again.
Cool.
Alrighty.
So I guess we're all sideways.
Yeah, I think
Just
we're
different.
No, I wasn't up.
With the
I wasn't up.
needs.
I think it's
not.
better than I've had a lot of really
sideways.
terrible beer in the last couple of weeks, so I'm definitely gonna go with a thumbs up.
Well, if you want another bad one, go crack one of those coconut ones and enjoy yourself.
Does it foam up like this one did?
No, you just pour it out and you just have to pour one into a glass and just look at it, and you go from there.
I'll make a short for the podcast.
okay.
There you go. Do it. Well, that being said, let's wrap this one up, boys.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and go have a pint with your pals.
Please drink responsibly.
Like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord. Tell us what you'd like us to drink. We're gonna try and do an upcoming live podcast, hopefully. So let us know what you'd like us to drink.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
Yep.
Cheers.
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 Cheers.